Hey guys, how's it going? Today we want to do a garden tour. Basically a tour of all of our huge piles of snow. So we almost missed the first month. This is January 28th today, and we thought it would be fun to do a tour every single month of the year so you guys could see the garden as it progresses from this to spring and summer, fall, and just so you can see all the seasons and see how it looks as it wakes up. So this is where we're going to start. The back door is right behind me, and we'll just kind of head this direction. And also, I'll try to find some pictures too to kind of pop up on the screen as we go so you can get a point of reference, because I know it's going to be kind of hard to make out a lot of this because it all just looks bright white to me anyway. So this is our pathway that leads to our back door. Right here, there's a couple of actually fairly tall privet hedges that lead to our fireplace area. And the fireplace is almost completely, there's a little crack on the top where you can see where the wood goes in. We spent quite a bit of time in that little section toward the end of the summer. We were able to do some fires in there and it was really nice. I can't wait to get out there and use it again. And then here it's solid ice. We actually just recently bought an upright freezer. Our little chest one died. We need to get it in this door. So right now it's sitting plugged in our barn. Anyway, it's going to be a while before we can get around and do a whole lot of anything around here. So the rose garden is here on either side. And I don't know if you can see that little point of snow right in the middle, but there is a pot. The pot sits about like this tall on me, and I had a few little things in it, but it's completely covered. And the roses are mostly all covered. And right in here is where we have kind of a brick patio area, and there's a center flower bed that's got some more native type plants. So some native cactus and what else? Lavender, I don't know, a bunch of stuff in there. And I planted some portulaca that was really pretty because this area gets pretty good sun throughout the whole day. But I mean, you can see this is the snow level right now. So there's no getting in there easily anyway. And then this is where we park our cars out here in the driveway. I have a couple of containers here that we did a video on last year. I really hope that these little evergreens make it. One looks really good. That one looks nice and dark green. But that one has got kind of a brown cast to it. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know. This spring is going to be very interesting. But that's another thing about these tours. You'll be able to see what kind of damage we have to deal with. I'm thinking a lot of my hedges aren't going to look super great because the first huge snowstorm we got was really heavy snow, and it was coming so fast we couldn't keep up with it, and a lot of our hedges are just... So I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of broken. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not super worried about it. But so toward our greenhouse area, which I just showed you kind of recently, I'm thinking about seeing if somebody could come and get rid of all this snow, because that will take forever for it to go away, because I am planning a vegetable garden. I'm so excited. So I designed it the other night, and I'm thinking it's going to go, see, this tree is probably going to go as well as an elm, because a lot of the trees have borers and a lot of them are sick and losing big branches. So I need to open this up a little bit, get rid of some of the stuff that's really struggling so I can put in some new things that are a little bit more resistant to insects and diseases and things. And we'll probably bring the garden out a bit, but it's going to be so pretty, you guys. I'm so excited. And I'll show you a couple other things when we go around some of the other plans that I have. So the barn area and the greenhouse it'll be completely full of plants. There'll be lots of pots. I'm going to put a little bistro set out there. I should have gotten gloves. It's cold out here today. It's like 23. Whew. Anyway, I think that'll be a really kind of charming area, especially with a really pretty, it'll be a formal vegetable garden in this spot. We'll bring in some really neat elements, I think, in this area, because right now it's just grass and a couple trees. So our tool shed is in there, potting shed here. We did videos around both of those, and I'm thinking I might change the tool shed into a chicken coop. I think it would be perfect. It's kind of the perfect size for the amount of chickens that I want to have. I'm not sure that I want to keep it right there, though. I might move it just because that's our entryway area, and I don't know if I want chickens front and center. I mean, I think that coops can look really cute, but I don't know if they look cute enough to be right where everybody comes into the garden. So we'll see. I haven't decided on that yet. We've got another elm tree here, which eventually it is going to go. I know that's sad. A lot of people, when I talk about that, a lot of you guys kind of, I don't know, don't love that idea, but elms are really, really bad here. They get borers terribly bad. You have to use a lot of systemic insecticide to keep them nice, and I don't want to do that in my garden. So I want to get some stuff in here that I don't have to treat chemically as much or at all. So that's the plan eventually. Of course, we'll be doing this in phases and not tearing everything up all at one time, you know, one area at a time. This is the backyard garden, we were calling it the formal garden because there are 2 urns on either side, and then there's a fountain in the middle with box hedges. This, I like it. I really like the form, this shape of it. I like formality in the garden, so it's a rectangle and it's very balanced, and I like that. I think we will be taking some grass out to do some plantings in there. I just want to have more room to plant more things, try some more things out. And then this is the back of our gazebo. There's a little pergola here. We did a video on those 2 urns this past summer where I planted them up with some more shade-loving stuff, which is looking very sad right now. You can see the dracaenas are just like, blah. I just posted a picture of these oak trees on Instagram, and I explained why I have a love-hate relationship with oak trees. The ones in particular that hold on to their leaves during the winter. So they do look very pretty with frost on them, and they do create a little bit better of a barrier if you're going for a hedge, which is what this was. But I think some of them are having some issues. You can see how, I don't know if these weren't pruned along the way or if they have something wrong with them, but they're all gnarled and not the same shape, and I don't know. Anyway, so back to my love-hate. I like to do my fall cleanup from my garden, and I know a lot of gardeners don't do it this way, but I do a lot of it in the fall. I like it to go into winter clean so that in the springtime, it's a gradual, like for me, I can ease into the season because I'm used to working at the garden center where I can't spend a lot of time in my own garden because we are so busy. So if I have it done in the fall, in the springtime, I don't have as much to worry about. So these though, their old leaves push off when the new ones push them out in the spring. So I've got all my fall cleanup done, and then these create a whole other mess. So it's like I have to clean up fall leaves twice, and I just don't like that very much. They are nice trees though. The squirrels have made some homes in them. And I don't mind the squirrels. We've done a lot of bird feeder videos lately. A lot of people say that the squirrels just take out all of their bird feeders, and I haven't noticed that as being a problem. Our birds are so ravenous right now. I think they're cleaning it up before the squirrels even know that any of it's out. So I put the bird feeders on the opposite side of the house that I know the squirrels are at. I mean, eventually they'll find it, but so far so good. So we do have a corner garden in here. This is driveway. So the driveway goes this way, and then it actually goes around this corner garden section. Like you can fit a car in there. We don't drive on it, but very formal, really pretty. So my little girl in there, my little peasant girl statue, is completely underplanted with Gara. It's the most glorious, like ethereal looking garden ever. I mean, Gara en masse is just absolutely beautiful. I'm really hoping the boxwood hedges held up in this area. You can see a little bit of our backyard through this way and the house, which we've had to do a lot of work on as far as snow removal goes. This shrub right here is a snowball bush. And then there's a weeping willow, which is so gorgeous. Look at this. I just cut a bunch of branches off a couple days ago for a project, but look at the color of these branches. Always something to think about when you're putting in new stuff, how it looks all year round, because it is so neat to look out your windows and see some different colors and things. So along this fence, so this is our property line here, we're going to be doing some big containers and a bunch of color. I'm really looking forward to that. It starts there and goes all the way down toward our entrance there, just to bring a little bit of plant life and some, I don't know, life in general over to this side of the house. You can see our gazebo right through there. You can see nobody's walked through that area. I don't even think I could. Very easily anyway. And the Versailles garden here is completely buried. This is where we bring our firewood in, or where we tried to bring in firewood. We're gonna have to do things a lot differently next year. We would take it in through this gate here and try to get it up toward that section. It just, well, obviously it's not happening. We lived in a very, very small place before this one, and we were not prepared. Well, we're not prepared for this kind of snow anyway, but we weren't prepared with, you know, having a four-wheeler or any kind of help to get things from here to there. So some things that we're going to have to add to our list as we go on in this house, just to make things a little bit more functional and easier for us. Around the outside of the Versailles garden, there is privet hedging. It's pretty tall, like it comes up to probably here on me, and it's completely buried. And this little section of privet here is this really neat like cube that sticks up out of the hedging, and it looks like snow is weighing it down on one half. Dang, I didn't notice that until just right now. I left my snow shovel up on the balcony. I can see that. Sweet. And when we were taking off snow, a bunch of Christmas lights started to come off. So it just, everything looks just kind of like, I don't know. I always like everything to look pretty tidy, and just had to kind of let it go this year. This evergreen tree I love. This is our entrance right here. So if we move right back here, you can kind of see this is where cars come in and out. So you can kind of see just how it looks. Those are locust trees that are flanking the lady statue there. I don't know what her name is, but she was here when we bought the house. So it's very pretty, kind of a bright green. And then this is a mulberry tree that's sick. You can see the cracks. Anyway, I love this evergreen just because it's huge. I think it would look so cute with big colored lights for Christmas time. Really colorful lights. I think it looks so festive. I don't know how we would ever get it to the top of that tree, but maybe one day. You can see that there's the bird feeder that we just uploaded that video yesterday, I think. The birds have already eaten all the seed out of it, so I need to fill it today. And then I think you can see ribbon. Yeah, there's ribbon in the tree too, where I had one of my seed wreaths. So I've made lots of seed wreaths after our first video of that. I don't know how many I made, 6 or something, and they just eat them right down. And then this next tree, this is a crabapple here. You can see one little piece of the garland, the apple and orange garland that I made. I've made 3 of those, and that is all that's left. One little piece of orange. I didn't know if our winter birds would eat citrus, and I think they're just so hungry that they're just eating anything right now. I need to get some more stuff out for them. So this is the front of the house, and UPS and FedEx are not delivering right now because this is the pathway. It's insanity. The snow is just so deep. We had Supertunia bubblegum planted up on either side of the sidewalk right up here. You can see the remnants of a Home Depot bucket and a pole pruner where we tried to fashion a snow removal device out of it, and it fell off the roof. Anyway, neither of us are brave enough to tromp through there and get it. So we'll just clean stuff up as the snow melts. We just had a giant elm tree removed from right here. So it blocked all of the telephone lines and the poles over here. And that one needed to come out. The other reason why I don't want elm trees is that they throw the elm seeds everywhere. And then that's about 95% of my weeds are elm trees. And if you've ever dealt with those, you know that like they're this big, like the top might be this big, but their roots are this big. And they take hold and they're so hard to remove. So I just am trying to make things easier and make things a little less maintenance, insect control wise. So anyway, what we're gonna do, I'm hoping to be able to get the electrical lines buried. That will be a big project for us this year, but I wanna do things right. Even if it makes us have to do it a little bit slower, I wanna get things to where I really like to look at them, and I really don't want poles and lines running through a bunch of our property because it does run down this side of the driveway. So we've got a pole here. There's pole here. I don't know if we'd be able to get this kind of thing done. These are pretty good size. But even if we could just get the 2 or 3 poles that we have done so that it's just on the outside of our property but not in the middle of it, I think it would be Well, it'll be much easier to design around, that's for sure. So another locust tree right here, and a couple of really old lilac trees. There's 3 of them in here. I'm going to be cutting some. You can see the buds. Promise of spring right there. I'm going to cut some of these branches and bring them inside to force to bloom. And a giant juniper tree, which this one, I guess, I've been told it was original to the house. So this part of the house is 1908. I don't know if that's true, but that's crazy, and that's a huge juniper. It's really pretty, beautiful berries on it. So after we have these lines hopefully buried, we are going to be bringing in a bunch of extra soil because our property does kind of go down on this side, and we want to make it a little bit more level. So there will be probably a little bit of a retaining wall, and then we'll be putting in a really long evergreen hedge. And I just want it to be like a green wall that kind of disappears. I want it to kind of be behind a bunch of new stuff that I'm going to be planting. There is a development going in on this side. Actually, the first house is done. And so far, great neighbors. I didn't even know that they moved in. Like, they were all of a sudden just moved in and living there, and I never heard it. It's perfect. So anyway, I'm not too worried about it. I just want to kind of create that kind of barrier and make it look a little bit more cozy in here. Everything is very open, and this is actually the side that the wind kind of barrels through. So we were probably going to end up doing a hedge of some kind anyway, just to kind of help break that. So development or no development, there was going to be a hedge going in along this side of the house. This is probably one of, well, besides the vegetable garden, I'm really excited for this project. There was quince and old roses and dogwoods that were tall, almost as tall as the window. They were taller than me by far, and you couldn't see out any of these windows. So came in and got them all cut back this fall, and we'll have them dug out in the spring. And then I want to do like a huge hydrangea hedge. I'm frozen right now, like my mouth is frozen. A huge hydrangea hedge and a boxwood hedge right below it, I think. Super clean, super like just beautiful, and something that doesn't grow up. I mean, maybe a little bit into the window, but not enough to where you can't see out it. So planting part is almost the most fun part. I love it. Right here, there are privet hedges that last year, I don't know, I think they were probably 70% dead. And there was like 30% life I was holding out. So I trimmed them back, and I was kind of hoping that they would push new growth. I gave them some fertilizer. They're just old. I think they're about 30 years old, these hedges. So they're going to come out. We'll do something different. But I'm very excited for this side of the house because I think it's going to allow for so much more planting space once we get the hedge in. I want to get some good structural trees in, and then we'll start just filling in with beautiful, shrubs and perennials, annuals, you name it. And I want to get some, probably a fountain or statuary or something going on this side too. So that kind of brings us back to the beginning. I know it wasn't a whole lot to see this time, but it'll be interesting to see what it looks like towards the end of next month when we do this. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching and kind of just seeing what we're dealing with and some of the plans we have for this next season. We did do garden tours last summer. We did it in, I think, 4 different parts. So we'll link those videos down in the comment or description section down below. Keep in mind, we did move in May. We moved in kind of in the height of when everything was growing. So we just spent a lot of last year just familiarizing ourselves with how everything worked on this property, the irrigation. We had to move a couple of things, and just kind of checking out what was here and what was growing. So this year will be fun because we can kind of start making it our own. Even though the gardens are already beautiful, we can do some things, I don't know, that I've always wanted to do. You know, as a gardener, you kind of have dreams of what you want your garden to look like when you're all grown up. So now I can kind of start implementing those ideas and just trying stuff out. And I don't expect that all of them will be successful, but I'm excited to try. So, and excited that you guys get to come along and see. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.